Hello everyone and welcome to the TTG Spain Fest Masterclass dedicated to family breaks. We are going to take a look at one destination today, and that is Salau for our family breaks focus. So I'd like to welcome Mark Espasa Roca, Managing Director of Visit Salau. So thank you for joining me, Mark.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me.
Fantastic. So during this masterclass, we're going to first give an overview of the destination in case any viewers are unfamiliar with it. Then we're going to take a deep dive into the accommodation and activities recommended for families, featuring different age groups. So that's from babies to grandparents. We're also going to address a few of the common challenges associated with selling Salau to families, and hear some suggestions from Mark for encouraging clients to travel responsibly to Salau. If you do have any questions throughout this masterclass today, please do pop them in the chat box. We will be getting to those at the end of the session in the Q&A. So, Salau is perhaps a lesser known destination for the UK and Irish market. So Mark, will you please give us a bit of an overview of the destination? Where is it? How best to get there? What's the typical destination experience, if you will?
Okay, thanks, Mary. Well, as a general description, we can say that Salou is located in the northeast of Spain. Okay, it's only 1 hour from Barcelona. Okay, the main city, and 15 minutes from Reus Airport. Okay, yes, only 15 minutes. It's very, very, very close. Salou is the capital of La Costa Daurada, the Golden Coast, and it is the name that our zone. Due to the type of the thin and brightness sand of our beaches, obviously, and because of the richness of our coast, okay, with an amazing Mediterranean landscapes. That could be the general description about what is Salou.
Okay. Amazing. So we do have a very short video and it's going to round up some of Salau's top selling points. So let's press play on that now.
Okay.
Amazing. What fantastic scenes there are in Salau by the looks of it. So this is our Family Breaks Masterclass. So Mark, what exactly makes Salau so great for families?
Well, it's difficult to explain because it's not a single thing, not even a physical thing. I think that the key is the family environment, okay? The way to understand the families and their needs. From an accommodation point of view, restaurants, shops, transport, land use options, etc. All of our appeals are firstly thought for families. Okay, it's important to underline that Salou was the first family destination certified by Catalan government 20 years ago. Okay, that's a sign about what kind of importance we put in the families visitors.
Okay, amazing. So let's break it down a little bit and talk about the different types of family that agents might be selling Spanish holidays to. So to start with, how would you recommend going about planning a holiday to Salau for a young couple with a baby or a toddler? Where would you recommend they stay? What kind of accommodation options would they have to choose from? And what activities would you recommend or do you think would best suit them?
Mm-hmm. Well, following this idea about a couple with a baby, maybe the best option could be to visit us renting an apartment. Could be an option, okay, because the apartment have all the things that a family could need. Into the center of the town, in my opinion, because there are another zones, but other zones with or more naturals, and they are more difficult to access for families, for careers, etc. I think that spring could be a good season to enjoy the walk across the long pedestrian zones that we have in Salou, like Passeig Jaume I in the seaside. I'm pointing the in front of me because I'm located in this avenue. Okay, but well, we have a very long pedestrian zones. Okay, and the walk, it's one of the first motivations of our visitors, and also could be a good season to do the first bath. Okay, with the child, taking the advantages of the sea properties, special for the children's health. Okay, the beach and the seawater with the salt, etc. Have a very good impact for the children's health. And I think with the babies is a very good age, and the spring is a very good season to start to put the children in the water and to enjoy it.
Okay. Do you have any specific recommendations for those accommodation types, either the apartments, kind of right on the beach? Do you know any brands that would be particularly family friendly?
There are a lot of options. Okay, in fact, I think that the variety of the accommodation, it's one of the most important value of Salou. I don't want to naming any single type of accommodation, because we are working in a public administration, and maybe it's not the best option, but I can assure that you will find a lot of very good options of accommodations. Maybe in this case, in an apartment, I think that it could be a good way to rest, because the apartment has the typical things that the family could need, but there are also very good hotels, campings, etc.
Okay, great. So moving on to a family that might be traveling with a child aged 4 to 12, what kind of attractions and activities would you recommend in Salau for them?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, following the last question, I think, for example, that if we are traveling with children between 4 and 12, a camping resort, okay, in this case, would be a great option to enjoy. In this case, the family-friendly environment, but in a safety way, okay? We have two of the most awarded campings in the world, okay? Very important campings, and it's they offer us a very good family environment for the parents, but also for the children too. The children can start to know other children and make some new friends through a lot of activities. And I think it's very interesting in this age to start testing the nautic activities, you know, some activities like banana, or like paddle surf, or to rent a boat, etc. But there are a lot of sport nautic activities where the family can enjoy.
Okay, great. And what about teenagers, the famously difficult to please teenagers? What
Yeah.
kind of resorts and activities would you suggest that's going to keep them happy and entertained?
Okay, well, now I think that it's time to explain maybe the most famous offer of Salou. It's a theme park, it's Port Aventura, it's prepared and it's ready for all the family. But I think, and when I try to structure all the questions, I think that now it's a good moment to introduce it, because it offers a very good value for the families with teenage peoples, because the park it's able to offer high emotions, big emotions, but in a very comfortable environment. Okay, and this way to keep the balance with these things, no, the needs of the parents and the needs of the teenage people. It's from my point of view, it's a very good a very good option to enjoy the holidays. Portaventura, as I have said, it's a very important offer of Salou. It's inside of Salou. In fact, the park is focused from 1 to 100 years old, but I think that teenagers or the family with teenagers are special interests in this park. For example, one data that I read some days ago to understand the Portaventura's value. Nowadays, Portaventura is the most visited place in Spain by tourists. Okay,
Wow.
it's a very interesting and a very important theme park, and I think that everyone can enjoy it.
Fantastic. It must be good if
Yeah.
all these people are flocking to it. Amazing.
Yeah.
So finally, I also wanted to touch on families traveling without children. So adult-only families, they might be traveling with older parents or even grandparents in multi-generational groups. So we were looking at possible accessibility requirements, such as maybe needing wheelchair access or having to avoid too many stairs or long walks. What kind of accommodation and experiences would you recommend for those types of customers?
Yeah, that's true, and that's very interesting because we are a very accessible town. Okay, Salou is a very accessible town due to basically we are a flat city. Okay, probably I would avoid the zone of Salou Cape. Okay, Salou Cape is the natural zone that I explained some minutes ago, because it's the most natural zone with some forests, coasts, etc., and some difficult access points. Okay, because the nature, but the urban center, it's flat, okay, and it's very accessible for all people, etc. We have a long and quiet beaches here, a very good restaurants, medical centers, etc. A lot of services are located here in the center, and in fact, it's the place where Salou neighbors tend to live. Okay, you can find a very good hotels, only other options if you prefer, etc. Okay, I think that the most or the best option if you want to visit us with old people or with some needs to access to some points, the center of the town would be the better option, the best option.
Okay, great. Thank you. I'd also like to ask about some of the challenges that agents might encounter when selling family breaks to Salau, and how you'd suggest overcoming or working around these. Just potential challenges that I could think of could be availability during school holidays, or airport transfers being difficult with little children. What are your thoughts on the kinds of challenges that agents might face, and how do you recommend overcoming them?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I have to say that we are a very easy destination, okay? And that's because it's not because I'm from Salou and I want to sell. It's true, I want to sell as well as I can, but we are a very easy destination, and that's because we are hosting guests for centuries, okay? We have a great experience in tourism, okay? And we are thinking every day in the needs of our visitors. When you're visiting Salou, you can see the summer mansions, okay, the old houses of the first visitors some centuries ago. There are some modernists and noucentista style chalets. Okay, the chalet is the name of this kind or type of houses, and they are the sign, okay, or the evidence that we are working with tourism for a long time. Well, but I understand that from the travel agent's point of view, maybe the main challenge could be to choose the best accommodation option from the wide range that Salou has. As I have explained, we have a lot of offer, and maybe the challenge is to be able to select the right one. Okay, as I have explained, there are some natural zones, there are some urban zones. We are a small town, but we are a town with a lot of offer and with a lot of different parts. Okay, We have several very good accommodation options to choose, okay? But previously, you should know if you prefer, for example, an apartment in front of the beach or family camping resort, as I have said, or hotel with a big pools and water slides, or hotel in a dam park, for example, okay? This previous knowledge, it's interesting, and I understand that it's not easy because we have a lot of offer.
Okay, great. Now, talking briefly of cost, I'm assuming you probably got loads of options for lower budgets, but what about kind of high-end holidays? Is there much to appeal to the luxury market in Salau? Any luxury hotels or upmarket activities or excursions that come to mind?
Well, yeah. Someone told me once that Salou is an accessible high-level destination. Okay, I like this definition because I think that we have some exclusive offer to complement the visitor experience. Okay, we have a standard experience for everyone. Okay, that's true, but we have a very good complements in the luxury way. Okay, in modern luxury, I prefer to say the exclusive way. For example, we have 3 golf courses in the town. We have an exclusive yacht club in the town too. High quality restaurants, for example, one of them with a Michelin star, etc. Okay, we have some high level offer. We have only one 5-star hotel, and it's located in the park in Portaventura. Okay, it's a very good hotel, but it's in Portaventura. But we have a very good 4 stars hotels recently renovated. Okay, in fact, sorry, our accommodation offer is mostly made by 4-star hotels recently renovated during the pandemic or the previous years. Okay. And close to Salou in Priorat, I will talk about it a few minutes later, but we have a very important zone, a wine zone, Priorat, and it's a very valued zone with one of the, or several of the most important wines in the world.
Okay, amazing. So breaking away from the family theme briefly, what other markets or demographics might enjoy visiting Salau, and why do you think that would be?
Yeah, well, here I want to say that, and I think that it's important to say that we are starting to work with the diverse families, okay? Not only the typical or the traditional ones. We are breaking the topic of one father or one mother and children, and we are starting to include the idea of the single parents or 2 parents or 2 mothers or a couple without children, okay? New realities. In fact, we understand that if there are common routine, okay, if they are spending money together, making decisions together, it could be understood as a family, okay? We want to bring the traditional idea, and we are starting to work, putting the focus in these new realities. We understand that if we are the leaders understanding the families, okay, as I have said, we were the first destination in Catalonia recognized as a family destination. We have to lead these new changes and these new realities, okay? And now we are trying to put the focus in this family, diverse family, okay? In our communication, in our ways to offer our products, etc., etc.
Okay, fantastic. And briefly touching on events and festivals, are there any kind of big events throughout the year that you want to highlight to the UK travel agents that their customers might want to incorporate into a visit to Salau?
Yeah. In fact, during the year, we have several cultural events, but they depending on the season and the year, okay? But we have some international events linked with the sports, okay? We have an international triathlon, the first Sunday of June. It's the challenge, the triathlon challenge, which is a very important competition around the world. And Salou edition has the recognized of most family-friendly competition, okay, among all the challenge of the world. And then there are another big event. It's the World Rally Car event. It's an international, obviously an international event. This year we will have the national version, okay, not the world version, because the organization want to test new location. But next year we recover again the World Rally Car here in Salou.
Okay, great. Would that be considered a sports event? Because I know sports tourism is quite big for you. Do you want to talk a little bit about sports tourism and what kind of activities and events sports enthusiasts might be able to enjoy?
Yes, of course, following the same idea, okay, the sports helps us helps us a lot. In fact, the sport is the most important potential development area to achieve our main goal. Our main goal is to break with the seasonality, and sport helps us in this sense, because the people who want to see or to practice the sports try to avoid the summer season, okay? They prefer the spring, the autumn, or even the winter, okay? And it's a very good thing for us. And it means that in Salou there are a lot of championships or tournaments, sports events in an amateur way and in a professional way. Okay, we have a lot of it, and we are exploring and we are expanding this idea. Okay, we are supporting the sports tourism. We are building new venues. We are promoting the certified, because we have also certified in sports tourism and in several areas. Okay, and now we want that the accommodations will be certified too, and we are exploring this idea.
Okay, fantastic. Now, in terms of twin centre holidays, I know agents get lots of inquiries for holidays that are in more than one destination. Are there any other Spanish destinations that you would recommend pairing Salau with for a UK break? Well,
Yeah.
UK break for UK travellers.
Okay, yeah, don't worry. As I have said, Barcelona is very close to us. Okay, it's an hour from Salou. Although I would recommend it to make some visits from Salou. I think one of the most important things that we have is that we are located in the heart of Costa Daurada, and we have around us a lot of interesting options. I have said, or I have explained about Barcelona. Obviously, you know it. I have explained some things about El Priorat. El Priorat is one of the most important wine lands in the world. Okay, very valued wines
Big
in
claim.
Priorat. And we have next to Salou the World Heritage City of Tarragona. Okay, it's very close to us. It's 5 minutes. Or the typical sailor village of Cambrils. Okay, but I recommended to put the center in Salou, and then to move to different locations.
Okay, great. And finally, before we move on to the agent Q&A, I wanted to ask about sustainability and sustainable travel to Salau. We're always really big on building a smarter, better, fairer travel industry at TTG. Do you have any advice or tips for agents to encourage customers to make responsible choices when they're in destination?
Yes, well, in Salou is working the sustainability from a social point of view. Okay, that's important to say, because as I have said, our main goal is to break the seasonality, because it means that our neighbors and our business will be able to live all the year, okay, in a very good way, okay. But furthermore, nowadays, the point or the backbone is the water, okay. We try to raise the awareness of our visitors that for us the water is very important. Okay, here I understand that maybe the origin destinations of the people who are visiting us are have more water than us. Okay, but we try to say, okay, for us the water it's very important. Okay, and we want that they have care about it. Okay, We are developing some communication campaigns in this way. Okay, we are not living nowadays. We are not living in important restrictions, only in some fountains, but we have to say that it's very important for us to take care about the water.
Okay, great. Thank you. So now it is time to move on to the agent Q&A. So thank you, Mark, for sharing all that you have so far. We're now going to take questions from the audience. So if you do have any questions for Mark, please pop them in the chat box and we will put them to him now. Thank you. Hello, Mark. Thank you for welcoming everyone back. We've had some questions in the chat already, which is fabulous. Julia is asking if you would say sport fanatics are the main visitors to Salau, and do they make up a higher percentage of the types of travellers that are visiting?
Yeah, we have more and more sport fanatics and sportist people, but they are not nowadays. They are not the most important segment or kind of visitors of our destinations, because the family it's very present.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. And Janet's asking about mountain biking and road cycling. Are you able to talk a little bit around that, or what the opportunities are, and safety and routes and everything?
Yeah, we have different kind of circuits from Salou. Maybe I could see that we have more valued circuits on the road, okay, but we have a very important circuit. For example, we have a mountain private circuit in Salou, okay, but we have more options in the roadway.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so questions about Port Aventura as well. Jill said she went within a week of the opening. She bets it's changed a lot. Have there been any changes at the park? New additions, expansions?
Yes, sure. Portaventura, it's an Leaf project, okay? They is changing day by day. For example, this year they are open one new that ride. They said, okay, that ride. It's a very interesting and a very enjoyable new attraction link with Uncharted film, you know, or an Uncharted game. And it's amazing. They are building a new virtual reality experience that they launch next week. They are working with some kind of seasons. For example, they introduced some years ago the Halloween. Now they are working in Carnival, or this year they started with Carnival. With Christmas, obviously, etc. It's an Leaf project, and they are applying a lot of new offers year by year.
Right, lots of developments then. That's great to hear. And how much does it cost for entry? And is it cheaper to book through an operator in the UK, or is it better to purchase one once the customer's in destination?
Yeah, they are this year. They are starting introducing the dynamic prices. Okay, they are working with different prices depending on the season, and I think that it's a good way because it makes us able to go in seasons with less people or with a few people, okay, with a cost, okay, but we can decide to go in another season with another cost. You can, or people can consult these different prices in the web, but the average of the prices should be or could be between 35 euros to 50 euros, more or less. They are sorry, and they have very interesting options with hotels or with promotions, including the different parks. As I have said, they have three different parks: the aquatic park, the Ferrari Land, and Portaventura Theme Park. Okay, and you can share the different parks, and you can obtain an interesting prices taking account these possibilities.
Okay, fantastic. And is it easy to get to the park using buses or trains? What's the journey like from the town centre?
Yeah, sure. It's quite easy because in fact Portaventura it's in Salou. Okay, you can go there by walk depending on the where are your hotel. Okay, but you can go there by walk in 10 minutes, for example, in some hotels, or you can find some public transports to go there, or you can use a taxi, or you can um, and there are a lot of options to go there. And as I have said, it's very close to the center of Salou, and it's quite easy to go there.
Okay, great. And how long would you recommend staying at the park, or spending in the park, I should say? Is it kind of day trip? Is it a weekend? Could you do a full week there?
Yeah. Okay. There are several options, as I have said. Maybe an option could be to decide to start only with one park, and then if you have more time, you can add an extra day, paying a few amount of money. Okay. But if you want, depending on your visitor profile, okay, if you are a hard user of theme park, you will need 3 days. Yeah, 2 or 3 days you need if you want to enjoy the shows, if you want to enjoy the all the attractions, etc., and this the different parks. Okay, but for example, if you have some children, you have a lot of options, but maybe with 2 days could be enough. Okay, or if you are going with old people, maybe with one day could be okay, depending on the kind of people you can organize your visiting.
Yeah, there are lots of options. Great. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I know we've talked a bit about festivals in Slough in this masterclass, but Daryl's asking, what is the best festival? What would you say is the top festival, kind of the best one to visit if you're only going to visit one?
The best festival, well, we have, if we are talking from the sports point of view, for me, the biggest event could be the World Rally Car, because the World Rally Car it's a festival, it's a show. Okay, you can see the best drivers of the world in a unique environment, because they are the competition has a day inside the city. Okay, and that's amazing to see. Okay, but for example, from a cultural point of view, we have another event. It called as Cos Blanc. Okay, the white party, more or less, or the white. Okay, because it's a party with a lot of confetti. Confetti. Okay, you can find some videos in internet, but this is in January. Rally is in October always, and Cos Blanc is, sorry, not in January. It's the first weekend of February.
Okay, brilliant. Lots of options to choose from then. Thank
Yeah,
you. And as I was talking about seasonality in the chat here. It's difficult to travel for families to travel outside of peak seasons because of the school holidays. Do you have any tips for navigating that in Salou? Kind of, what would your advice be to help address that challenge?
Well, I know that it's a problem for us too, that the school calendar makes us the problem of seasonality. Okay, as I have said, our main challenge is to break with this seasonality, and now we are working to break it. On one hand, trying to apply new offer out of season. We try to explore with the government and with the administrations how we can battle with it. For example, the case of French, it's very good. French has an interesting school calendar when They can do their holidays during the year, and depending on the region, they do the holidays in different times. Okay, they have an interesting school calendar holidays. We we want that every government and our government works in the same way. It's not an easy. It's not an easy challenge, okay, because it means that we have to change the school routines and we have to enter in another area, not only in tourism. And for us, it's very hard. But we understand that Spanish and Catalonian Salou, for us, tourism, it's the most important industry that creates our richness, okay, and we are trying to change it, but we know that it's not easy.
Yeah, of course. It's a challenge an ongoing challenge that you'll be addressing in the years to come.
Sure.
Okay, well, thank you, Mark. That is all we've got time for today. It's time to wrap up, I'm afraid, for Thursday of TTG Spain Fest. So thank you, Mark, for joining and answering all of our agents' questions. For everyone watching, please do come back at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. We've got a full morning of training from all of our TTG Spain Fest partners tomorrow. It's also your last chance to enter the competition, the chance to win a trip to Spain for you and a +1. There will be questions in the polls tab in all the sessions tomorrow taking place for the training. And don't forget to answer the questions in this session if you haven't already. And thank you again, everyone, and we will see you tomorrow.